All right, it is early Sunday morning. And I am both extremely grateful that I will have made rent by the hair on my chinny chin chin. But I've survived. Thor News has survived. Asteroid Fight Club has survived. Astonishers has survived. So that is fantastic. And I'm very grateful and appreciative. I love you. And I'm also super frustrated at the same time because I've seen a lot more women on social media talk about how they'd want to marry, someone who's tall, dark, handsome, and a millionaire. And, by being Planetary Defense Commander, I'm broke all the time. So my love life has been broke all the time, most of the time. Asterisk. And also the fact that I spent 6 years trying to unite people of all over the planet so we could deal with these earth weather changes and the erupting volcanoes that I predicted and, the earthquakes and stuff. And I realized, you know what? If I had worked to use my powers to try and start a civil war as opposed to uniting people, I bet I would have been way more successful, And so that brings me back to my other point that pretty much since I've had Thor News, and had gotten a better understanding of the war and oil economy that we are all in, that it was weird for me to see at the pivot point where people should be like, you know what? Both sides are totally corrupt. You know what? Our government takes its giant government cheese pee-pee and sticks it in our poo-poo hole all the time and then just points fingers at us. And we take it. So the time where I thought the nation would pivot and wake up, they didn't. They turned politics into a religion. Something Leo King and I agree on. And so, I don't know, like politics became the rock star and the religion and the hobby of everyone at a time where it was like the worst decision ever. And so this kind of wraps it up. It goes to like, if you want to understand the truth, it's called follow the money. I remember when I made a video, I could always tell when I make a video that really upset people. And I was in a bar and the phone I had at the time, I'm on like 11, 12 phones since I had Thor News. And my phone just totally shut down and then it restarted. And then on the very front of my screen, it said follow the money. I was like, oh, geez, because I've been talking about it in one of my videos. And so that's all you got to do, dude. If that's what you're looking for is the truth, if what you're looking for, how the world works and stuff, that is the ugly rabbit hole. And so our government is shut down, and they're literally shut down because they can't decide how much money they want to borrow from the people on top of the $23 trillion they already owe. And it's like when Republicans got in office, they're like, what do we want to do? And they're like, repeal Obamacare. So we're going backwards. And then now that Nancy Pelosi is the House, they're like, what do we want to do? Impeach Trump. So we're going backwards. Like, none of these are freaking plans for the future, man. We're just like, they're unraveling each other. And it took me like 4 minutes to get to my point. The point is this. Here we go. Let us look at this together. Because the thing that really got me lit in the truth community was when I did a bunch of research on the Federal Reserve, how money was created, the double bookkeeping system, fiat currencies. I read Nostradamus, then got sick for a week. I was freaking out over hyperinflation on a global reserve currency level. And I was like, oh my God, I have to help avoid the coming currency crisis because hyperinflation is a mathematical certainty. It's when you have a force majeure week where the currency explodes, where bread goes from like $2 a loaf on Monday, and then $10 a loaf on Tuesday, and then $100 a loaf on Wednesday, and like $1,000 a loaf on Thursday, and $1 million a loaf on Friday, $1 billion a loaf on Saturday. And then you're going to need a calculator for your loaf of bread after that. Wheelbarrows of money. Right? And so I was all freaked out. Like, that can't happen, because if that happens, then the streets are slick with slaughter, and it's rape and murder, and violence is the new currency, and all your supply chains will break down. Man, this isn't a very good or uplifting sermon, is it? For Sunday morning. And so that was what originally started freaking me out. Like, that was my biggest concern 10 years ago. You remember the 2008 crisis? So here we're looking at, I got my debt numbers wrong. As you can see here, that the global debt is, in 2008, corporations had $104 trillion in debt. Meaning a corporation could take out a bunch of debt. And now they're up to $135 trillion in debt. That's a lot of money. I could have built so many cities of the future for that. Even just that 31. I could probably build a whole giant city for, bet that works better than any other city, for $1 trillion. I could probably, anyway. Okay, the households went from 37 trillion to 47 trillion. So out of all the families in the globe, they added 10 trill. This one had 31 trill. And then our governments added 30 trill. So technically, corporations added $1 more trillion than all the governments of the world over the same time span. Do you get the point here? I'm going to light my cigarette now. Okay, so even on here, corporations are basically twice as large as governments. What more do you need to know? Did I not do? Yeah, I guess it is technically. Just did the math, and corporations are worth more. Global corporations are worth twice as much as all governments in debt. Meaning they've had more borrowing power than all the governments of the world. And if you add that, if you add the two up, 200, it's like 5 times. Like, so between governments and corporations, they've spent 5 times what the families have. And so over this decade, corporations added 23% more debt, households added 22% more debt, and governments added 45% more debt. And I'm curious, what has happened in the last 10 years that has made government twice as expensive? I would like to know. We haven't built any new infrastructure in forever. All that money we're sinking in technology. The petroleum combustion engine was invented in the late 1800s. The telephone was invented in the late 1800s. Electricity was harnessed in the mid 1800s. Like, you can buy a lot of drones for 200 trill, bro. And so, and the one major thing is, hold on, I gotta click this. The major point of this all is that, one second, is that corporations are limited liability corporations. Meaning, the people who took the debt out aren't on the hook for it. Quote unquote, the corporation is on the hook for it. But we found in the 2008 crisis, if corporations collapse, taxpayers on the hook for it. Same thing with government. Who's on the hook for it? Government's not on the hook for it. The people that are on the hook for it are the people, the families. So this is what we're dealing with, people, is that the 1 billion families on the planet, if you have, let me see if I do my math correctly. If you have 5 pieces of pie, corporations get 3 pieces. Wait, corporations get, I don't know, but basically, math, I'm not good at math. But basically, it's like, what is that, 135? Yeah. Government gets a piece and a half. Is that right? Corporations get 3 pieces of pie. Families get 1. And then governments get like 1.5 pieces of pie. My math might be off. And so that this is how all that money gets funneled into very small areas, and we, the people, get screwed. And so I know I've talked a lot about the media has seen record profits since Trump was elected. And, you know, during the whole Me Too thing. Me Too happened right when Puerto Rico got hit. It was when Me Too and Harvey Weinstein came out. So most people were focused on Me Too. And then right when Hurricane Florence was about to hit, the Kavanaugh trial came out, so Me Too resurfaced. And then the trial was about to end, or trial ended, and then we got hit by another hurricane. But Me Too was still huge, and it dwarfed the coverage of the hurricanes, both in Puerto Rico at a time where they were like, oh, 63 people died. And it was all Me Too. And then we found out, oh, yeah, 5,000 people died. And that was my whole thing at the time, where my prediction when the hurricane hit was that 10,000 people died. I predicted that like when it happened. I think I cried in that episode, like, that video. This is real life, note to self. And so, you know, it was like, it was just and no disrespect to the Me Too movement, but no great solutions or ideas have come out of that movement that have actually changed the quote-unquote patriarchal system that is keeping and oppressing women. And I definitely am for equal pay for equal work. I definitely don't think anyone should ever be sexually harassed, though I don't think whistling at a woman on the street is sexual harassment. And though I don't whistle at people, I'm just saying, you got to pick and choose. So when forcing sex on you, yes, that is horrible, and that is a crime. Somebody whistling at you as you walk by, it's not that big a deal. You know? I was at a bar, and a woman told me I smell bad. That is comparable to, and I mean, I do, but it's part of my defenses. What was it talking about? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, just that the media's like getting rich off distracting you. Government's getting rich off distracting you. And our government is shut down. And they're arguing about a stupid ass wall that is the dumbest idea I ever heard, because we've been hit by 6 hurricanes in 2 years. We're going to have volcanoes popping off in the West Coast within the next 3 years. And that one spot I've been talking to you guys about in the Caribbean, where I'm like, man, I'm pretty sure volcanoes are going to be going off in the Caribbean soon. I don't know what to do because I don't want to raise alarm bells too high. But, god damn, Emma Watson is gorgeous. I dreamed about women as beautiful as her when I was a kid. What was it talking about? I'll get to it. Yeah, so I found proof that, oh yeah, the volcanoes are starting to steam and vent and blow out gas in the Caribbean at 2 of the volcanic islands. And so, where'd it go? No, I lost it. And I tweet a lot. There you go. Guadalupe. Hey, one of the volcanoes is steaming out gas. December 30th and 31st. On Martinique, one of the volcanoes is steaming out gas. This is after I've been talking about, oh my God, I bet we're going to see volcanic activity there. And so your government is shut down. The employees are the employees like now are going to skip 2 or 3 weeks of paychecks. And dude, that is just inexcusable. You know, that, like, I would, anyway, I'm just saying it more and more. It seems like a big show, man. Feels like the universe is pushing me into running for president, and that's the last thing I ever want to do. I might have wanted to do it like 10 years ago, but man, they're going to run using a ringer. I heard a rumor that I'm going to be a fox starting on the 7th for about a month. That's fine. I've been handsome before. I can be handsome and charming again. I can deal with it, hopefully. What is sudden stratospheric warming? Okay, so this is just my thing. It wasn't funny. This is just straight up truth on Sunday morning. Sunday morning. I love you guys. You guys are super. You guys are duper. You guys are fantastic. My cigarette went out. I'm going to relight it. You ain't got to stay. Okay, here we go. So I guess at the end of my sermon is I'm asking everybody to cut everybody else some slack. Okay? The enemy is not your fellow American. The enemy is not the people who are working every day to barely put food on their table, feed their family, and enjoy life. Okay? We are not the enemy. The enemy is the system. Okay? We need a new system, and that's just the way it is. Life comes at you fast. I should write a comedy where me and Chris Hemsworth, Vincent D'Onofrio, and Chris Pratt playing brothers. It'll be a comedy, of course. I was talking about women and volcanoes. So yeah, pop a kettle. You know, like, we'll build a wall. Was it volcano proof, bro? You know, and technically the United States has been using Mexico and South America for cheap labor in third world status to our monetary advantage. And technically, Europe has been using us as a third world country the whole time. They just acted like we were in control. True story. Man, sometimes I just want a little group that I can have decent conversations with. I mean, you guys are great, but I mainly monologue all the time. Okay. That's part of the gig, I guess. Damn, I want to rub a booty. Ooh. That's the first time a Sunday morning sermon ended like that, huh? Okay. I should end on an inspirational note. Volcanoes. Yeah, oh no, there's the F word. See, there's this thing where someone's talking about her mom wants her to marry a millionaire. And it's like, man, you know, I don't know. Money's part of the problem, people. And yep, that looks like big fucking trouble for the West Coast. Okay, it's been a fun economic tell it like it is. Oh, it's 11:30 already. Okay, everybody stay cool. And I love you. And you guys are great. Give me a hug. I'm giving you a hug. Can you feel it? I'm sending you love across here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And part of me just loves being Thor News. It's a cool thing. I've stayed up all night watching this thing. Okay. Talk to y'all soon about stuff. God bless everyone.